I hid an $8.5 million crypto fortune from my partner, Marcus, for years. He found out on a road trip, demanded I save his failing restaurant, and threatened to expose me when I refused. I'm Tessa Caldwell, 32, a born and bred daughter of Savannah, Georgia, where the air hums with history and the oak trees drip with Spanish moss. I grew up in a shotgun house in the Victorian district, raised by my single mom, a nurse who worked double shifts to keep us afloat. I'm a wedding photographer, capturing love stories for a living, with a sideline in restoring vintage Polaroids, a hobby that keeps me grounded. My life looks charmed on the outside. A quirky loft downtown, a closet full of thrifted sundresses, and a laugh that strangers say lights up a room. But I've been carrying a secret heavier than a Georgia summer. My partner, Marcus Tate, is 35, a Chicago native who landed in Savannah 4 years ago after a messy divorce. He's a chef, the kind who dreams up dishes that taste like poetry. Think bourbon-glazed shrimp over sweet potato grits. We met at a pop-up dinner he hosted in Forsyth Park, where I was hired to snap candids. He was all charisma, with deep brown eyes and a habit of quoting Langston Hughes mid-conversation. I was hooked. We've been together 2.5 years, sharing a rhythm of lazy Sunday brunches, impromptu dance parties in our kitchen, and debates about whose playlist reigns supreme. We don't live together. Marcus has a condo near the river, but we're always at each other's places, keys swapped, lives tangled. Marcus's dream is his restaurant, Low Country Soul, a cozy spot on Broughton Street that blends his Midwestern roots with Southern comfort. It's been his obsession since he arrived, but it's also his albatross. The place opened strong, earning rave reviews, but Savannah's tourist economy is fickle. A slow season, a brutal rent hike, and a string of bad luck, flooded pipes, a broken oven, have left him drowning in debt. He's maxed out 2 credit cards, taken a second mortgage on his condo, and borrowed from his sister, who's barely speaking to him now. I've helped with free promo photos and social media, but Marcus is proud, the kind of man who'd rather burn out than admit he's sinking. What Marcus doesn't know, what no one knows, is that I'm not just a photographer scraping by on bookings. Back in 2014, when I was 21 and bartending to pay for community college, I got into cryptocurrency on a whim. A regular at the bar, a tech bro with a man bun, tipped me $200 in Ethereum, saying it was the future. I thought he was nuts, but held on to it, mostly because I forgot the password to my digital wallet. Fast forward to 2020, I recovered the account during a pandemic-induced cleaning spree and found my Ethereum was worth $8.5 million. I nearly fainted. I sold it all, funneled the money into an offshore account in Belize, and swore I'd never touch it. Why hide it? I didn't want to be that person, the one who changes when money rolls in. Growing up, I saw how wealth warped people in Savannah's elite circles. Friends turned greedy, families fractured over inheritances. I liked my life. My scuffed Doc Martens, my beat-up Nikon, my mom's hugs when I visited her new apartment in Ardsley Park. The money felt like a bomb. One wrong move and it'd blow up everything. I told myself I'd reveal it someday, maybe to fund a dream project or help mom retire early. But with Marcus, I kept quiet. His pride was part of it. I knew he'd hate feeling less than. But if I'm honest, I was scared. Scared he'd look at me differently. Scared he'd want the money more than me. Our relationship wasn't perfect. Marcus could be intense, especially when the restaurant stress hit. He'd snap, then apologize with a home-cooked meal. I'd pull away when he pushed for more commitment, dodging talks about moving in together. But we worked, or so I thought. We were planning this road trip, Savannah to Asheville, North Carolina, a week of craft breweries, mountain views, and no Wi-Fi to reconnect. Marcus needed a break, and I needed to feel us again. I never imagined that trip would crack open my secret, or that $8.5 million could feel like a curse. Our road trip started with the kind of hope you cling to when life feels like it's slipping. Marcus and I left Savannah at dawn, the sky bruised, purple over the marshes, my old Subaru packed with camping gear, and a cooler of his homemade pimento cheese. We were headed to Asheville, North Carolina, chasing mountain air and a break from his restaurant's slow bleed. The first day was magic. Windows, down Nina Simone on the stereo, Marcus's hand resting on my thigh as we laughed about nothing. I almost forgot the secret sitting in my Belize account, heavy as a stone. By day 3, the cracks started showing. We were camped at a quiet site near Greenville, South Carolina, fireflies blinking in the dusk. Marcus was distracted, checking his phone obsessively for emails from creditors. His mood soured when a supplier texted about an overdue invoice. "They're gonna cut me off, Tess," he muttered, tossing a stick into the fire. I tried to lighten things, offered to make s'mores, teased him about his terrible ghost stories, but he just stared into the flames. That night, I made my mistake. I was curled up in our tent, scrolling through my phone to confirm a wedding gig for next month. A notification popped up from my offshore bank, a two-factor authentication code. I dismissed it quick, but Marcus, lying next to me, caught the word Belize on the screen. "What's in Belize?" he asked, voice casual but edged. "Just a spam thing," I lied, shoving my phone under my pillow. My pulse hammered. I'd always been careful. Never left my phone unlocked, never checked the account around him. But the road trip, the closeness, had made me sloppy. He didn't press, but the air shifted. The next morning, driving through the Blue Ridge foothills, he was quiet, answering my questions with grunts. I chalked it up to restaurant stress, but his eyes kept darting to my bag, where my phone lived. By evening, we'd checked into a kitschy motel outside Asheville, all retro neon and shag carpet. I went to shower, desperate to wash off the tension. That's when it happened. I came out, hair dripping, towel clutched tight, and found Marcus sitting on the bed, my phone in his hands. His face was a storm, jaw tight, eyes blazing. "Tessa," he said, voice low and dangerous. "What the hell is this?" I froze. My bank app was open, the balance glaring. AITA $500,000. I'd forgotten to lock my phone, left it on the charger while I showered. "Marcus, 8.5 million? He stood, waving the phone like a weapon. "You've got millions hidden away, and you're letting me beg for table scraps? You watched me lose everything. My restaurant, my pride. And you didn't say a word? I was going to tell you," I stammered. But it sounded weak, even to me. "I didn't want it to change us." "Change us?" He laughed, sharp and bitter. "You think lying to me for years didn't change us? You think watching me drown while you're some secret millionaire didn't fucking destroy me?" I stepped toward him, desperate. "It's not about you, Marcus. I was scared. Scared of what money does to people. I've seen it ruin families, friendships. Don't give me that," he snapped. "You were protecting yourself. You didn't trust me. And now I'm supposed to what? Pretend this is fine?" He scrolled through the app, muttering. "Transfers to Belize, encrypted. Accounts, what are you, a drug lord?" "It's from crypto," I said, voice shaking. "I got lucky years ago. I didn't ask for it." "Lucky?" He tossed my phone onto the bed. "I'm losing low country soul, Tess. I'm 2 months from foreclosure. You could have saved it with pocket change." Guilt clawed at me. I seen his late night panic, his fights with lenders, and I'd stayed silent. But his anger, his entitlement, lit something in me. "It's my money, Marcus. I don't owe you a bailout." His eyes narrowed. "You owe me the truth, and now I know it." He grabbed his jacket, keys jangling. "I can't look at you right now." "Where are you going?" I called, but he was already out the door, the motel sign buzzing red in the dark. I sank onto the bed, the weight of my secret finally free, and my world in pieces. The motel room felt like a trap after Marcus stormed out, the neon buzz outside mocking my unraveling life. I sat on the sagging bed, my phone staring back with its damning bank app still open. $8.5 million. Numbers that had been my silent burden for years. Now a grenade that had blown up my relationship. I wanted to cry, scream, drive into the mountains, and disappear. Instead, I just sat, numb, replaying Marcus's words. "You didn't trust me. He was right. I hadn't. Not with this." And now I was alone in Asheville, 800 miles from home, wondering if I'd lost him for good. I didn't sleep. The room's popcorn ceiling became my canvas, projecting every moment I could have told him. Our first date, when he confessed his divorce had gutted him. The night he cooked me shrimp and grits, swearing he'd make Low Country Soul a legend. The quiet mornings when we'd sip coffee on my balcony, dreaming about a future we never quite defined. Why hadn't I trusted him? Was it his pride, his temper, or was it me, hoarding control, afraid of being seen as more than Tessa the photographer? By 4 a.m., I was spiraling. Marcus hadn't come back. His duffel was still in the corner, but his keys were gone. I texted him, "Please come back, let's talk." No response. I called, voicemail. My mind raced with worst-case scenarios. Him driving drunk, crashing, or worse, just leaving me here. I opened my notes app and started typing, raw and unfiltered, trying to make sense of the mess. June 26th, 2025, 4:32. AMI fucked this up. Not just the money, but us. I thought I was keeping things real by hiding it, but I was building a wall. Marcus isn't perfect. His ego, his need to be the provider. But he loved me. Loves me? I don't know anymore. I'm scared he's gone for good, and I'm scared I deserve it. At dawn, I dragged myself to the motel's diner. a greasy spoon with chipped mugs, and a jukebox stuck on Dolly Parton. I ordered coffee, hoping Marcus would show. Hours passed, my phone silent. The waitress, a woman with kind eyes and a smoker's rasp, refilled my cup. "You look like you're carrying the world, sugar," she said. I forced a smile, but her words hit hard. I was carrying a world, a secret world of wealth I'd never wanted to claim. I thought about driving back to Savannah, but that felt like running. I loved Marcus, flaws and all. If there was a chance to fix this, I had to try. I checked my bank app, staring at the balance. One transfer could save his restaurant. $500,000, maybe less, and Low Country Soul would breathe again. It was tempting, like a quick fix to buy his forgiveness. But would it? Or would it just make me his savior, not his partner? I started Googling. Stupid, desperate searches like how to fix a relationship after lying and what does money do to love? The internet was useless, full of cliches and ads for therapists. But one article, buried in a psychology blog, stuck with me. Trust is rebuilt through action, not promises. I didn't know what action looked like yet, but I knew throwing money at Marcus wasn't it. By noon, my phone buzzed. A text from him. "I'm at a bar on Biltmore Ave. Come get me." No apology, no warmth, just an address. Relief hit first. He was okay, then dread. What would I walk into? I found him at a dive bar, nursing a bourbon, eyes bloodshot. He didn't look up when I sat down. "You drive," he said, tossing me his keys. "I'm done with this trip." The ride back to the motel was silent, the Blue Ridge Mountains mocking us with their beauty. Back in the room, I tried to talk. "Marcus, I'm sorry. I was scared, but I should have told you." He cut me off. "Save it, Tess. I don't want your excuses. I want to know what you're going to do about it." I took a breath, choosing my words. "I'm not giving you the money. Not like this. But I want to fix us, if you'll let me." He laughed, cold. "Fix us? Good luck." He rolled over, back to me, and passed out. I sat there, heart cracked but resolve forming. I wasn't running, but I wasn't buying his love either. If we were going to survive, it had to be real. Marcus's ultimatum came the morning after our silent drive back to the motel. He woke up hungover, eyes hollow, and sat me down at the wobbly Formica table. "Tessa," he said, voice flat, "I need $600,000. That's what it'll take to save Low Country Soul. You've got millions. This is nothing to you." His words weren't a request. They were a demand, laced with resentment. I felt like I was staring at a stranger, not the man who'd once written me love notes on cocktail napkins. "I can't do that, Marcus," I said, my voice steadier than I felt. "It's not about the money. It's about us. I won't buy your forgiveness." His face hardened. "You think this is about forgiveness? You lied to me for years. You watched me beg for loans while you played poor. You owe me." "Owe you?" I snapped, anger flaring. "I lied and I'm sorry, but my money isn't your lifeline. You don't get to demand it." He leaned back, smirking, but his eyes were cold. "Fine. Keep your millions, but don't expect me to keep your secret. Savannah's small, Tess. People talk." The threat hung heavy, a blade over my life. I stood, grabbing my keys. "Do what you have to. I'm done here." I walked out, heart pounding, half expecting him to follow. He didn't. Back in Savannah, the fallout spread like wildfire. Marcus didn't blast me online, small mercy, but he told enough people to start a whisper campaign. By the end of the week, my friend Jada, a florist I'd worked with on countless weddings, called me. "Is it true, Tess? You're some secret millionaire?" Her voice was more hurt than curious. I tried to explain the crypto, the fear, the silence, but she cut me off. "You didn't trust me. That's what stings." She hasn't texted since. Clients followed. A bride I'd booked for next spring canceled, saying she needed someone reliable. My inbox, once buzzing with inquiries, went quiet. Savannah's tight-knit creative scene, where I'd built my name, turned on me. I wasn't Tessa the photographer anymore. I was Tessa the liar, the rich girl slumming it. The betrayal stung, worse than the lost gigs. My mom was the hardest. I drove to her place in Ardsley Park, hands shaking as I told her about the $8.5 million. She sat on her porch swing, silent, then said, "Why didn't you tell me, baby? I raised you to share your burdens." Her disappointment wasn't about the money. It was about the wall I'd built between us. She hugged me, but I felt the distance. Marcus kept up his campaign. I heard through a mutual friend he was pitching investors for Low Country Soul, spinning a tale of my deception to paint himself as the victim. It worked. 2 local restaurateurs chipped in, enough to keep the lights on. He didn't call, didn't text, but his anger lingered in the air, a ghost haunting my city. The worst was the isolation. I'd always been the one friends called for, Advice, the one who showed up with coffee and a smile. Now, I was on the outside. My secret a stain I couldn't wash out. I started avoiding my usual haunts. Forest Park, the coffee shop where I'd edited photos. Savannah, the city I'd loved, felt like a mirror reflecting my mistakes. 2 months later, I'm still in Savannah, but I'm not the same Tessa. I moved out of my downtown loft, too many memories of Marcus dancing in the kitchen, and rented a small cottage on Tybee Island. The ocean's rhythm is my therapy, a reminder that life moves on, even when you're broken. I started seeing a counselor, a no-nonsense woman who calls my secret a shield I didn't need. She's helping me unpack why I hid the money, not just from Marcus, but from everyone. Fear, yes, but also a need to stay small, to avoid the weight of expectation. I'm learning to forgive myself, one hard session at a time. The money's no longer a ghost. I hired a financial planner, a quiet guy from Atlanta who's helping me set up a foundation. Half will go to local arts programs, workshops for kids, grants for photographers like me. The rest is for my future, maybe a studio of my own. I'm not ready to spend it yet, but I'm done letting it define me. Marcus and I are over. He sent one email, a half-hearted apology that reeked of desperation. I was hurt, Tess. Maybe we can talk? I deleted it. I miss the man who quoted poetry, but I can't love the one who saw me as a bank. Low Country Soul's still open, limping along on new investments. I don't check anymore. Jada and I are rebuilding, slowly. We met for coffee last week, and she listened as I poured out my regrets. You're still you, she said, squeezing my hand. It's a start. My mom's back to her old self, calling me daily, insisting I come for Sunday pot roast. Their love is my anchor. Work's picking up. I landed a small wedding gig, and the bride didn't care about the rumors. I'm pitching again, leaning on the portfolio that got me here. The whispers about my wealth are fading, and I'm okay with being Tessa again. Flaws, scars, and all. At night, I walk the beach, the stars bright above the Atlantic. I think about that road trip, how one mistake unraveled everything. I don't regret the money, but I regret the silence. If I could go back, I'd tell Marcus, not to save him, but to save myself. I'm not free yet, but I'm closer. And for now, that's enough.